Hey, hello everybody. Hi, my name is Darius Anucauskas and I'm the global market analyst here at Markets.com. So, look, this is a quick video update on the news which is coming out tomorrow, and the specific news which I'm referring to are the Japanese inflation numbers. So, before we jump into all that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So yes, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a moment to read the rest while I'm fixing my my microphone here a little bit, which is kind of falling off a little bit. But hey, look. Also, just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Markets.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. So, first of all, the pair that I'm going to be looking at here mainly will be the Euro JPY, because I'll explain in a bit, because I think that this one could present itself with a nice opportunity. But the economic calendar basically looks like this. So, as you can see here, we're going to be getting, before the Japanese data, we're going to be getting the S&P Global Australia's Composite Manufacturing and Services PMI flat, the estimates one, but the main focus right now is on the inflation number. Yes, on the inflation number for January, basically. So, look, what can I say? What can I say? The number has been. We don't have a. It seems like we don't have a forecast here apart from the core inflation number. By the way, the Japanese core inflation number, just for you to know, that this one excludes fresh food prices, but includes fuel costs. So it's a little bit different than normally we have. Let's say when the core numbers exclude food and energy. But the Japanese one does include fuel costs. Anyway, but okay, that doesn't matter. Still, it's still an important metrics to keep an eye on. And as we can see, the core one is expected to drift a little bit higher from 3% to 3.1%. And it has been picking up the pace, as we can see here. Last time, back in November, when it came out here, it was at 2.3. Now it's kind of, I would say, quite rapidly picking up, So now, like I said, the expectation is that it's going to go further north. The headline inflation. The headline inflation is also expected to come out, but I can see that there's no forecast here on TradingView, but the previous number was at 3.6. However, I'm looking at another source here very quickly, 3.6. Yeah, the expectation is also for a 10 basis point increase. So basically going from 3.6 to 3.7. So, okay, what can I say? It's quite an increase, I would say, because again, the central banks, the Bank of Japan's, the BOJ's inflation target, there we go, managed to squeeze it out. Inflation target is sitting around 2%. So we are quite above the target. What it means that this means that the central bank becomes a little bit more comfortable with the idea of going for further rate hikes. Now, what can I say? The Bank of Japan currently, their interest rate currently sits at plus 0.5, so they have been increasing that rate, I would say, quite rapidly now. Of course, by 25 basis points, but still, for Japan, that's quite rapid, I would say, because they have been in negative zone. Their rates have been in negative territory for quite a while now. I mean, they have been till the beginning of 2024, and then till the beginning of last year, and then they started kind of pushing that higher in order to kind of protect the Japanese yen as well, because again, we know that one has been a little bit shaken, especially in 2024, because that year was, look at this, I mean, 2024, it has been rallying significantly here. I'm looking at Euro JPY right now, and as we can see here from the kind of the beginning of December of 2023, and well, let's say January, it started off somewhere around here. Similarly, it kind of, this pair rallied and gained around 12, almost 13% at one point. Basically, the Japanese yen was devalued against the euro. At one point, it was around 13 13%. However, then of course we saw the Bank of Japan stepping in and kind of saving the day, and basically yes, we managed to see that the yen stabilized against its European counterpart, but then closer to the end of the year, it kind of started devaluating and kind of devalued by around 6% against its. Around 5-6% against its European counterpart. Now, what's happening right now? I think that the fact that why I'm picking up on Euro JPY. Look, with the Fed, everything is clear, right? The Fed is currently kind of slowing down with all the cuts, and that's why we're seeing but still they're slowing down with the cuts, but they're still considering cuts, right? But we saw USD JPY already kind of dropping heavily, to the downside. However, with the Euro JPY, this one was still holding on, and looking at this technical picture, I would say that it seems like we're planning, at least it seems like that we're planning to move a little bit lower. After we saw this strong decline here from the beginning of July of last year all the way to the beginning of August. So we saw this huge decline, I would say. Then we kind of stabilized a little bit, forming something of a head and shoulders pattern, I would say, with the neckline being somewhere around this 155 zone, I would say. And, well, according to all the tier rules, such patterns tend to break to the downside, right? Well, again, theoretically, yes, but in practice, we need to wait for that clearance of this whole area right there. Now, for me, preferably, I would like to see a drop below the 154.38 zone, but I do understand that this is quite a strong area of support as well, this 155.5 zone. If we clear the 155.5, yes, I'll slowly start targeting the downside. I'll aim for this 154.38 zone. And then if that gets cleared, well, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. And this is where we will start, shifting our attention to some of these lower levels here. Like, for example, this one right here, this 151.60 zone. I know that's very kind of, it seems like it's very close, but still a decent move in my opinion. But if that gets cleared, of course, the psychological 150 zone, I think it's coming up, automatically in a way, because again, if we're clearing this, I think that given the symbolism of the of the number, the 150, I think that could be quite doable, maybe even lower levels than that. But again, let's not rush into things. Let's go slowly on this one, and let's keep an eye on what's going to happen with this pair, because like I said, the USD JPY is already showing signs of weakness. It's already like breaking out through some key support levels. Certainly, it still has more support on the downside, but what can I say? I mean, it seems like maybe the Euro JPY here could be let me just the microphone keeps on dropping and dropping, so let's do it this way. So the situation with, like I said, with this pair is that the central bank, the European Central Bank, it's still willing to go for those cuts. So if they're still willing, so that means that we might see some further euro weakness. Whereas in the situation with the Bank of Japan, those guys are planning to go for more hikes, and I think that their next interest rate decision is coming out on the 19th of March, so keep that in mind. Okay, at the moment there's no forecast for a hike or anything, but I think that the rhetoric that they're using right now, the words that they're using, that they're willing to step in with some more hikes. So this kind of forces me to think that this pair in a way is almost like destined to go further south. But again, anything can happen. Of course, a lot of things can happen if suddenly, like we start seeing the Japanese government trying to improve their exports by devaluating somehow the Japanese yen, then of course, yes, this whole idea which I just discussed kind of falls apart, and we're now into a little bit of a different world. But at this point, I think we already had enough of devaluation of the Japanese yen. I think that they don't want to see that. I think at this point, there we might see, actually, on the contrary, we might see some strength in the Japanese yen. Another thing to consider, of course, as well, is that, let's say, if the global economy and the major indices start reversing sharply to the downside, that's where the excitement of buying the Japanese yen could come in again, because this, of course, is seen as a safe haven. And especially especially against pairs, against currencies like euro, this we could see, the Japanese yen kind of having the upper hand and strengthening a lot. Well, again, there's a lot of theory, there's a lot of ifs. For now, what I'm seeing in front of me is I'm seeing a possible head and shoulders formation, with the neckline being somewhere kind of in this big kind of I would say, wide range, because I'm looking at a daily chart here, and this 155 zone becomes the area that I'm, the area around the 155 zone becomes the important one to watch. So if we start clearing all that, then yes, great. I think that this could open the door to some further decline. So keep that in mind. For me to shift my attention to the upside, I think previously I talked about this little hurdle, this 160 zone, but I think I'll take a very conservative approach here, and I'll wait for a break of this little short-term downside line taken from the high of the 31st of October. And if I can get that clearance, I'll consider a move higher. But at this point, I'm just observing the price action and cautiously leaning towards the downside. But again, a lot of ifs need to be a lot of boxes need to be ticked first. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this one till the end. I hope this helps out. Like I said, the data is coming out on Friday early morning, early European morning. So, yep, keep your eyes on that. And whoever's trading Japanese yen, yeah, be careful, because, like I said, rather wait until the numbers come out and then maybe do something about it if you feel comfortable with it. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. I'll see you later in one of my next episodes of Top News. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.